and welcome to Creator Toolbox. This is the show that puts tools in your toolbox for ServiceNow developers, admins, and all kinds of people who are working with the system. We've got a very special show today. We're going to be covering a new topic, unexplored territory, new product in Tokyo that I'm very excited about. But first, let's get to some introductions. My name is Chuck Tomasi. I've been with ServiceNow since 2010, been a customer for a couple of years before that, and computing history back into the Stone Age. So happy to be here, passing it over to Earl.
Hi, everyone. I am a developer advocate here with ServiceNow. I've been with ServiceNow for a year, but for about 4 or 5 years before that, I was with customers mostly in higher education. And then before that, I was in student affairs and business administration for the universities and stuff like that. And then I'll pass it to Lauren.
Hey, good morning or afternoon or evening, everybody. My name is Lauren McManaman. I've been at ServiceNow, the company, for about 5 years, but have switched from developer to sales to now also a developer advocate. So super excited to be here, and I'll kick it over to Benny.
Thanks, Lauren. Hi, everyone. I'm Benny Bhatnagar. I'm a product manager in the NowX team, which is a future products incubation team. And I've always only been a product manager, not like the others, switch roles. And I'm here to talk about a new product we launched in Tokyo today. So excited to be here.
All right. So we are here. It's October 11th. We are working through, in fact, we're mostly through our Tokyo season. So the icon in the upper right represents it's Tokyo season. You saw something similar earlier this year with our San Diego content, so that you know what context this fits into. If you're watching this in the year 2035, you'll know, oh yeah, that was 2022. Wasn't that cute? Well, this is part of our Tokyo content, and Earl just flashed up the link, devlink.sn/Tokyo. And if we continue to pay our domain registration fees to the year 2035, that link will still work and get you to the page that has all of the Tokyo content, depending on category or calendar, or you'll find what we're looking for. So you can go back and rewatch. Maybe you missed something, or maybe you're watching this live in the year 2022, and you're planning on something that's coming up. Podcasts, a live stream, blog articles, it's all there. So if you're looking for Tokyo stuff, we've got the breakdown starting at August 3rd of this year with our Tech Now and working our way through the details of many of those topics and many more to come. So without further delay, I think we need to, who are we turning it over to? Earl or Benny?
Benny.
Benny, you're on stage. Thank you for joining us.
Good. Yeah, sounds good. I can get it started. Let me share my screen.
Oh, it looks like you unshared your screen. Well, the topic we're talking about today is Automation Center, new in Tokyo. And there we go.
Here it comes.
All
Perfect.
right. Sounds good. So the product I'm going to talk about is Automation Center, which, like I said, we launched in Tokyo. And I want to start with, we all know every customer is automating, but what we realized is that automation at scale is not really easy. And why is that? So automations typically touch a lot of complex enterprise systems, and they span across multiple siloed, disconnected automation technologies. Along with these automation technologies, it leads to a lot of disparate center of excellences that are trying to maintain these different systems, technologies, automations, which really adds on to the complexity. Because there are common problems everyone's trying to solve, but they don't talk to each other. They're all trying to do it in very siloed environments. And also some of these automations still require human intervention, which is prone to errors with minimum guardrails. There's no way to manage and monitor all these technologies in one central place. So what has ServiceNow done on their automation journey? Where is ServiceNow on that journey?
A lot.
Yeah, and we've been adding a lot of capabilities. We've started with our basic workflows. That's how ServiceNow started. Then we added App Engine, where citizen developers can build apps. Flow Designer got upgraded, Workflow got upgraded to Flow Designer. Then integration came with all the APIs for these modern applications. We introduced Virtual Agent, where end users can solve problems. I use that all the time in our platform. And we added process optimization to our portfolio. That's where you can discover new opportunities, new candidates, and some could be for automation. And then we added RPA, robotic process automation, where it helps customers mimic human mouse clicks. Any mundane swivel chair processes can be automated using RPA. And then we added doc intel, that's the intelligent document parsing of unstructured data. And again, if it's repetitive, manual. So all these capabilities we kept adding on to our platform. And from a tool standpoint, we are a hyper automation platform, right? Today, customers can execute on business processes, automate them by leveraging not only the digital workflows that we have, but all these multiple tools along with AI ML that complement all these tools. And this is all on one single platform, right? Which is really cool. But what we've been learning is that only tools are not really enough to truly be a hyper automation platform. So we spoke to a lot of customers, and what we've been learning is that that these customers are not really reaping the benefits of all these automations if it stays at a very tactical level. There are common challenges because when we were having these conversations interviewing customers, we kept hearing like similar, some of the challenges were kind of similar and common. So this is kind of a summarized list of that. So what we heard is that discovering what to automate and prioritizing, because you could have 100 things you could automate, but there's only limited resources, there's limited skills, limited time. So what should you automate? It's really manual today. It's done in spreadsheets, there's meetings, multiple teams are involved, there's email exchange. So it's not an easy process. So once you discover what to automate, how do you automate it? Like I was mentioning, there are so many technologies today. Like I'll take an example. For example, there's invoice processing in SAP. Should you use a bot, an RPA bot, or should you use an API integration? Because there are multiple ways you can do this, but which is the best way to automate this? There's no easy way to know that. Can you leverage best practices because maybe someone else within your organization has done it? Can you reuse an existing automation, a template, a code snippet? None of that happens, which leads to duplicate efforts. So that's another challenge we've heard. Then, okay, once you've automated, the life cycle of an automation doesn't really end there, right? It goes into production, but there's maintaining the health of those automations. Organizations are really struggling in that space. How do you maintain those automations after they go live in production? For example, when automations are built, taking the RPA bots, you have to monitor the performance, the failures, the enhancements, there's changes, fixing the bots, retiring them, retesting, etc. So there's a lot that needs to be done. The analytics and reporting metrics around the return on investment, because you've done all this work, but what are you getting out of it? And like I said, there are siloed tools, so there's no easy way to know how much money you're saving, what benefits you're getting out of it, how many of these automations are really successful, accuracy of these automations. There's no one central place you can manage that. Every tool has bits and pieces of this, but it's again all different dashboards. It's really hard to, at a high level, consolidated level, see the benefit of these automations. And overall, the governance of the automation life cycle, the end to end, like I said, from discovery to knowing if you're getting benefit out of it, that's all missing, and it's a big gap. So I'm going to talk about how Automation Center is helping with this. Let's do a quick product overview of what Automation Center is. So I'm sure you've heard about Automation Engine. That is a bundle that we offer. Automation Engine has RPA Hub, which is your robots, there's computer vision, rules engine, there's template solutions, Then there's Integration Hub, where you have all these connectors, the APIs, you can do a custom integration builder, transformations. And then we have document intelligence, that's like semi-structured extraction and making sense out of that. It's all AI powered intelligent document parsing. So all those technologies are there in Automation Engine. What we've done is we've added Automation Center, which brings it all together. And what does Automation Center allow you to do? It allows you to take get intake of these automation candidates in one central place, helps you prioritize, helps you manage the health of these automations, and then you can ultimately manage goals and your KPI tracking. There's cost benefit analysis, etc. So how does this work? This is a quick visual overview of how the flow comes together, how the flow comes together in Automation Center. Uh, so we have data coming in. So in Tokyo, we went live with more of the RPA technologies. So there's data coming in from RPA via flow. And in next few iterations, we're going to bring in data from Integration Hub and Doc and Tell. So all the technologies that we have in Automation Engine. So we bring in the executions data into Automation Center. And then we're also continually discovering opportunities because it's an ongoing process, from process optimization, a service catalog. Any end user can submit a request, right? I'm an HR analyst. I process employee onboarding every day, spend so much time, it's repetitive. I want to submit a request, or ideation. So there's different ways where you can discover automations. They get submitted to Automation Center. Then all these technologies get applied on it, and it all comes together in this one central place. All these executions then get plugged into ITSM, which is a huge differentiator for us. And out of the gate, we have an advantage of our platform of existing capabilities where we are leveraging our CMDB, our change management capabilities. And I'm going to talk about a little bit more detail in this, but this is like a high level flow. And then once the new requests come in, they get automated, the executions start coming in. Then what Automation Center allows you to do is you can report, you can run analytics, you can get insights. And this is all in a workspace experience, which allows not only the technical users to take advantage, but also the business folks, because they're all part of this whole automation ecosystem. And Automation Center brings all these stakeholders together, which is really important, right? So the kind of questions it can help answer for an automation development manager is, how can they start their day? What are the issues that they need to resolve today? What system changes could impact the automations? Taking an example of SAP, generally the SAP application is owned by a different team. The automation team is different, and the automation team could have built automations on the SAP system. But if the SAP team has an upgrade coming up, the automation team generally doesn't have an idea, and their automations break, the bots break. So they can proactively be informed. And then what automations do they need to implement, right? This is maintaining the health, but like I said, it's an ongoing activity. What's next in the pipeline? What does the team need to build more? So that's some of the questions that Automation Center can help them. For a COE lead, a Center of Excellence lead, they generally want to know, are the goals being met? Because they've been assigned these goals, and are those on track or not? If they're not on track, that is something they can look into. Are these automations adding value to the business? Because ultimately, anything the team is doing, it should add value. And which automations to prioritize, right? Like I said, there could be so many automation requests that come in, but which are the ones that they should really automate? And then for executive leadership, like a CIO, CTO, they want to know if the organization goals are being reached or not, because that's ultimately their goal. They want to know if those are being met or not.
I think this is it's to like sum it up on this slide. The main thing about Automation Center is what I'm getting is two main things about so one, the central governance of it all, being able to manage and monitor everything that's happening with automation, but then also with the personas that you're showing on the right, that return on investment demonstration to any stakeholders that you might have. It really shows business value. I know for all of us that are developers, one of the main things that we always need to remember to be doing is, as we automate and as we uh, workflow and flow everybody's processes, one of the main things we need to always be constantly doing is demonstrating to our stakeholders that this was worth it. And Automation Center is going to be very good about providing that kind of demonstrated ROI as we go, without having to actually set it up ourselves. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. And also, what we realize, right, the reality today is that customers can pick and choose what automation technologies they want to use. And it doesn't have to be just ServiceNow, it could be any third party vendor also. So, the problem that we had, like, this is great what we were building. But one of the challenge or problem that we wanted to look at was how can we elevate and really coexist with these other automation vendors. So the way we've built Automation Center is that it is agnostic to third-party vendors. So like I said, for Tokyo, it's only RPA vendors. So we have our ServiceNow RPA tool that is part of Automation Center, but it can be any third-party RPA vendor. It could even be a homegrown RPA tool that, using these generic APIs that we've exposed, using that, you can push data into the automation center, and we will start getting data like your automation executions, your RPA bots, the robots that are running that. So all that information comes in, and then you can leverage all of these platform capabilities that I've been talking about.
It's centralizing all of the centralizing. Awesome.
Yes, yes. Because, I mean, we could have just solved our problem, but reality is when we talk to customers, they could be using one of the third-party RPA tools. They could be using us for Integration Hub, Doc and Tell, but then there are different dashboards. There's different places to manage that. So how do we bring all of that together was one of the challenges we wanted to solve. So, so moving on, just like the stakeholders that I was mentioning before, it brings a lot of different folks together. You have the influencers, which is the automation COE team, because they are the key people who are in charge of making sure the right automations are happening, the right goals are being met. You have the executive leadership, like the sponsors. They are the ones who are actually giving the budget, and you want to make sure you can show value to them. And then the buyer is the automation managers. So they are the ones who are actually doing the work. So Automation Center brings all of them together. There's visibility, it helps with collaboration. So yeah, so just wanted to mention that. So next, wanted to talk about the use cases that Automation Center is trying to solve, and which kind of helps with our whole hyper automation platform story that I was mentioning. So the first challenge that we wanted to solve was that the biggest pain point is that building these automations sometimes is not the biggest, like most challenging. It's maintaining them, because these automations
Yes.
break, right? They're brittle. Failures are really hard to find. Troubleshooting, triaging is very time consuming. I've spoken with customers where they have dedicated teams who are helping fix these problems. It's really reactive. Again, no one central place to manage that. And this impacts the whole scalability, right? Because you're just spending time at the tactical level, keeping the lights on. So using our, and how we've solved this is using our capability of CMDB, ITSM, change management, because what we've done is that, like I said, it's just RPA for Tokyo. So, and it's going to be anything, any automation like your spokes and all that in future. But for Tokyo, all these RPA processes and robots are CIs as part of the CMDB. With that, what happens is that you can now plug in the ITSM, this CMDB change management. Now you can proactively manage your automations, right? because all these are CIs. For example, I have a automation build on, like, going back to the SAP. Any impact on SAP, you'll know exactly where the failure is going to happen. So this is, I think this is where we really differentiate, and a lot of customers get excited. This came from the customers organically, that we should leverage the existing capabilities. We'd spoken to Gartner analysts, and they said this is where we can actually differentiate and make a difference. So that's one of the use cases that we're trying to solve. And the next one, which I touched upon a little bit, is, I was talking about all these siloed systems, applications, siloed center of excellences that are trying to manage all these different complex enterprise systems and automations. There is no central visibility to view your benefits, the impact, the business impact, right? We were talking about that. So without that, the teams cannot even justify or ask for additional budget, right? Because if you can't show what benefit you've gotten out of it, how much money you've saved, how do you get that extra budget? So with Automation Center, it's your one single pane of glass for not only ServiceNow, any RPA vendor, your integration hub in future will be integration hub, your doc and tell, anything you consider an automation, because it's built in such an agnostic way, you can monitor it here. Any third party vendor, any even homegrown tool that you have. So it provides like the whole monitoring, the 360-degree, I would say, visibility of your whole automation landscape. And this is the operating model. So that was high level, but how is it being implemented, and what have we really provided from a functionality standpoint? So we have integrations with ServiceNow RPA, and we have process optimization integration also built in, where you can discover automation candidates. And then, like I said, any third-party tool, I've just mentioned UiPath because we've extensively tested with that. So the way this works is, there's really two flows to it. One is, there are new requests that customers want to capture. So it could be a manual submission, which is an end user, like I'd mentioned before, submitting a request via service catalog. Or process optimization is where optimization finds these inefficiencies based on like you could run it on incident table, and it tells you where there's opportunity for improvement. And those can be submitted to Automation Center. So once the automations are submitted, then there's lifecycle management. What that means is these automations come with the status new. These could be deferred, rejected. They could move. They could move to a planned state. This could be like a solution architect, enterprise architect, trying to figure out, prioritize. You can create tasks on these automation requests that have been prioritized, like if you want a development task or just a design task. So there's flexibility around that. And you can do the whole task management, where if it gets assigned to a developer to build an RPA bot, another task is to a different developer to build a third-party RPA bot, because you could stitch sub-automations together and manage all that here. And then once you do the whole life cycle, you can, and you can attach the resources, the tasks, you can attach it to, because there are different teams that own these technologies. So you can kind of manage all of that in one place. And once the automation happens, you publish those automations as CIs. Then we have these dashboards. One is an executions dashboard, and I'll show you a bit visual on that. You can see insights and alerts of how should you start your day, what's failing, what's coming up, and you can put, you can configure insights on, like, for example, restart a server every 15 days. It's not on a particular automation, it could impact multiple automations. So there's a lot you can do in this executions dashboard. But the idea is to manage the health of the automations, to make sure everything is up and running. And if there are any critical issues, those are triaged to the right teams and right people. And the second dashboard that we have, it helps you with more of the reporting and analytics. It helps you manage the performance of these automation usage. And there's few other metrics around return on investment. How much time did these save? How much money are these saving? Are the goals being met? So things like that. So one is, like I said, new automation comes in, they get automated, and then you can manage and monitor them here. But the reality is customers are already automating. So if you have existing automations, it could be in ServiceNow RPA or a third-party tool. ServiceNow RPA, out of the box, we provide a flow where as soon as you implement Automation Center, you download the plugin, you will start receiving data. If you have automations created within using ServiceNow RPA, a flow is going to start populating your executions, your the processes, your robots in these dashboards. And for third party, for V1, the first version that we went live with, like I said, we have the generic APIs. So using that, it's a one-time setup. Once you do that, the same information you're getting for ServiceNow RPA, the executions, the robots, the processes will start populating in these dashboards. So you could do a mix of both because it's an ongoing activity. As new things come in, you can create requests and bring in all that information, or you could just do the existing data and you do not have to create a request for that.
That's awesome. I actually didn't realize that. I was just thinking this was execution management and watching after the bots were built, but it really is life cycle management of bot creation, because if you're assigning a bot to be created, then it even shows from the beginning of when you even start attempting to think about automating a process, and it actually tracks all of that. So I didn't realize that it was really literally from beginning to end.
Yeah, it is the end to end, and we've, something we've been really mindful is the usability, and we want to keep the experience simple because this can get really complex, and it is a complex process, but it's very lightweight based on what we heard from customers. That was one of the goals. So with that, I think the last thing that I wanted to share is there's a demo or recording which will show you a glimpse of the product, and it is a very nice overview that we have. So it's a 4-minute.
Unlocking the true benefits of
I'm sorry, it's a 4-minute video, and it's really nicely put together. So I'll play it.
Automation requires more than just a few points. Unlocking the true benefits of automation requires more than just a few point solutions. Without a unified automation platform, it's easy to end up with disconnected islands of automation that are not only difficult to manage, but nearly impossible to assess in terms of efficacy and return on investment. Automation Center provides a solution to this complex challenge by offering a central repository to intelligently manage the full lifecycle of automations from multiple vendors across your business. Let's follow the journey of a cross-enterprise automation initiative that involves the Automation Center of Excellence and the Now Platform owner. Both can now gain visibility into their organization's entire automation landscape in one place. Whether starting from data-driven analysis or a flash of inspiration, Automation Center helps you make sense of new opportunities using discovery and submission mechanisms. Users from all parts of your company can submit their ideas using a service catalog entry, lending their unique insight into potentially pivotal areas of automation. Alternatively, you can use our best-in-class process mining tools like process optimization to harness the power of data-driven insights and automatically create automation opportunities pertaining to high-potential areas of improvement uncovered by your analysis. These automation requests flow into the Automation Center workspace, enabling effective evaluation and prioritization. These records allow us to maintain full traceability throughout the lifecycle of automation efforts and provide a way to easily create associated tasks and manage relevant resources. One great aspect of this approach to automation record keeping is that you can align your activities to business goals and tangible key performance indicators, helping you automatically ascertain the value your automation initiatives are bringing to the table. Critical metrics like time and cost savings are just some of the useful components outlined on the Automation Center Overview dashboard. This view lets you quickly understand what you've achieved with automation, information about automation efforts that are going well, and detail into areas of opportunity. Additionally, you'll find a wealth of info regarding active automations, along with a handy summary of future automations. In a similar fashion, the executions dashboard displays everything we need to discern the current state of our automation operations. This includes helpful insight into job states, executions over time, and, importantly, detail about current incidents and upcoming changes to both automation packages and dependent applications. Because Automation Center runs on the same platform as IT Service Ops, every bot process and execution is configured as a CMDB configuration item, surfacing planned changes to applications that could potentially break an automation. This empowers service ops teams to proactively prevent failures via change management, while also relaying these key considerations within Automation Center. And of course, all of these components are interactive, so you can quickly get to the time frame or category you're seeking, then drill directly down into pre-filtered details right from the visualization. We've also incorporated intelligent insights that keep your team ahead of potential issues. These insights include good-to-know info that can help you proactively address possible future blockers, and take action insights that will help you keep track of urgent problems impeding your automations. The real power of the solution comes from the fact that these capabilities are designed to work cohesively with your environment, integrating seamlessly with both ServiceNow solutions and third-party systems. Consider the potential. You identify an opportunity using ServiceNow's process optimization, then develop an automation using either ServiceNow's robotic process automation offering or your own RPA platform of choice. Your automation then interacts autonomously with external systems like your ERP platform and completes an end-to-end automated process using contextually relevant information provided by ServiceNow's low-code integrations. To close the loop, Automation Center helps you keep track of the benefits this automation is providing relative to the business goals you're hoping to realize. This potential is made possible by Automation Center, the latest addition to ServiceNow's hyperautomation portfolio. Using this solution, you can manage and monitor cross-enterprise automation across any vendor in a single workspace.
Woohoo!
Gotta love Tom.
Yup.
I recognize that voice.
Tom Freeman did that video. And I just have this final one slide just to recap.
That wasn't me, was it?
I think your YouTube
Hello
is
and
auto-playing.
welcome to Tech Now, the webinar series for ServiceNow developers, admins, and builders of all skill levels.
Someone's got a video running
My name is
somewhere.
Chuck Kavasi. So glad to be here. Before we get started, wanted to make a couple of notes.
I think Benny's audio is
YouTube
playing
went to the next video automatically.
Which coincides with our early access. And items shown in this webinar.
I muted Benny just for a moment so that
I was getting ready to do lip syncing.
Anyways, that's a good plug for if you missed the Tech Now episode, go ahead and jump over to devlink.sn/technow if you want to listen to that audio going over all of the Tokyo information that we've been going through. So that's a good plug. Thank you, Benny.
I brought you back, Benny.
Was that my laptop?
Yeah, I think your YouTube, after you got done with Tom's video, it went to the next one automatically.
Sorry.
No worries.
Apologize.
Benny, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned that we've got manual and automated ways to identify automation opportunities. Manual being a catalog item, record producer, and the automated ways through process optimization. Have we considered, I'm going back about 8 years to when I first learned about performance analytics and how it could spot optimization opportunities as well. You're supposed to put your indicators where you had, key opportunities to identify performance. Have we thought about integrating triggers or something from performance analytics into Automation Center?
Yeah, that's a great question, Chuck. To your point, just service catalog or process optimization are not the only ways to discover opportunities. PA is one way. So it's, again, the intake is agnostic. There's generic APIs for that too. If you have another source where you want to push opportunities, because we have customers who manage it in Jira, but Jira is more technical. We have dev tools, right? There's demand management. There's so many different places where these could be managed, but Automation Center is almost prescriptive to just automations. So if you have a different source, you could push it in. But to answer your question, we don't have it out of the box yet. It's not on the roadmap, but if a lot of customers want that, or if it becomes a priority, we will definitely consider it.
All right. Thank you.
We had another question from the chat. Someone was asking if you could go a little bit more on how the automation discovery works. The idea of how do we know what things we should be implementing with regarding to automation. Can you drill down a little bit into how that works?
Okay. If I understand correctly, once you discover opportunities, I mentioned like the whole prioritization, right? How do we manage that? Is that correct?
Like how does Automation Center identify automation opportunities?
Okay. So Automation Center doesn't really identify them, it manages it, right? It's a whole kind of management tool. Process optimization identifies opportunities and it submits it. Say like 30 opportunities were discovered and process optimization submitted. 20 opportunities were crowdsourced from service catalog. Some could be manually created also, right? So Automation Center collects those like 50 opportunities and it's a central repository of all of that, right? So that's what it does, but it's not really creating any opportunities, if that answers the question.
Yeah, it looks like we need to do an episode on process optimization to answer that question completely.
We did a live coding happy hour long time ago, 2-3 years ago, when it first came out. So we hooked it up to our artifact manager and went, well, look how many of these don't follow the path we intended because we were manually changing states. So it's out there, but it's probably a bit dated at this point. It might be worth looking at again.
Ashutosh also asks, are we able to, in Automation Center, drill down per product suite? So SecOps, ITSM, HRs.
The answer is no, because you could, but you would have to build that integration, but out of the box, it's not there right now. But like we've used elements of ITSM, like I mentioned, right? And we've used CMDB. So the capabilities that are integrated, yes, but not everything is seamlessly integrated with Automation Center.
And just to clarify, Benny, to get access to Automation Center, this is in the ServiceNow store?
So yeah, that's a good question. We did go live with Tokyo's store release. It is part of Automation Engine bundle. I believe it's part of the enterprise bundle, and it's free in that enterprise bundle. Like there's no additional cost to it, but you have to have that.
And if you do have that bundle to get Automation Center, is it already in your instance? If it like with Tokyo being installed, or do you have to go to somewhere to get it? Or a plugin?
It's in the store, so you have to download the plugin. And, yeah.
Cool. Because we always get that question, like, where do we go to get it? How do we try it out?
It's a plugin.
Cool. What other do you all see any other questions that are good? The main thing that people are saying in here is this is
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
No.
Great. Awesome. That's the automation's amazing. That's the general consensus it seems to be going through the chat right now. So
that's awesome to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, I'll save that for the end. I bet Vinny will be really happy to hear all those comments.
Yeah, because we just went live, so I want to hear all the feedback, good or bad, right? We're always looking to improve, so I'd love to hear more feedback.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us. If there aren't any other questions, I think we just have a couple of announcements and we'll get out of here. First announcement we have is call for content for CreatorCon 23 is coming up. I know it seems like May is a million light years away, but it is not. It is not. The planning has begun and we need your input. October 18th through November 15th is when you can submit if you have an idea. If you don't have an idea, now's a good time to think about it because you have 1 week if you're watching this live. October 18th, November 15th, you go to the link that's on the bottom of the screen, devlink.sn/cc23cfc. You can submit your ideas. and we will review them. And hopefully, if everything works out, you get picked. We will also be doing some office hours during that period. So if you don't have an idea, we got a lot of people that picked one up off the cutting room floor. Yeah, people were saying, well, what about this? What about this? And how about we do this? And we turn those into sessions. So ideas pop up at those office hours meetings. You could just walk in with an empty offering basket and get something put in and walk out and go, I've got the start of an idea. I know where I'm going to go with this. Or if you've got an idea, very encouraging to walk in there and help refine it. So we are there to help you. Some of the best presentations I saw at Knowledge 22 were the people who actually attended these office hours meetings to get their messaging and ordering and how should I approach this? And it was a wonderful experience. Had a great time in every single one of them. The other thing is
those office hours start tomorrow, by the way. So
they start tomorrow
evening. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Morning and evening.
Morning and evening, yes.
So check out the link if you want to attend those office hours. It has the links to the actual time, to the actual sessions themselves.
We've also got a number of Hacktoberfest. I'm sorry, before I get to the other one, the Hacktoberfest, devlink.sn/Hacktoberfest. It is October. We do this every year is this year 4 or 5, Earl? I lost count.
I think this is our 5th year doing it.
5th year? Okay. So the idea is to help people understand source control, GitHub repos, working collaboratively. This is a fun way to do it. It's even easier. Earl made it easy last year. It's even easier and more popular. And thank you very much for everybody who participates. And if you do participate and meet the minimum qualifications, it's still 4 pull requests.
4 pull requests.
4 pull requests, you get a t-shirt. So
I already ordered mine.
Earl already sported his in a recent video short. That was a lot of fun. So devlink.sn/Hacktoberfest. And we have a number of developer meetup chapters that are going back to in-person. So watch your calendar. That is devlink.sn/meetups. And you can find that. You know what? If you're not writing all these down, devlink.sn/links. That's where you'll find all of these important ones. So we'll make sure we keep that page up to date. But the meetups, people in Chicago, Madison, Atlanta, Boston, DC, and New York, check your calendars. Keep an eye on those meetup chapters for your Q4 meetups. You may find a holiday surprise, we'll just say. Looking forward to seeing many of you. I think Phoenix has an in-person meetup coming in December, virtual meetup in October. So lots of vibes happening again. We're coming out of the dark ages of the last 2 years, and people are very excited to get together in person again, share ideas. These things are way better in person. Not put anything down about the virtual meetups. They allow people from other areas to attend where they normally wouldn't. But looking forward to seeing a number of you at meetups again real soon. So that's all the announcements I had. Anything else? We're good. We're done. Then we'll play the music, smile and wave. How's that sound? Thanks, everybody. Take care.